how long have you been in the business of credit repair?
17 years.
Awesome. So in those 17 years, what got you into the business?
Well, I did home loans, and then I found my passion with doing credit repair. So I was helping people buy their homes, and they wouldn't have bought their homes, and got them into a good position.
You know, it's a good thing that you know the side of the lending when somebody's trying to buy a property, somebody's trying to refinance a property, somebody's trying to maybe take a line of credit, and you know that credit is really important. So in the years since you started, do you have like a really good story, a really good positive story that you can tell us about a customer, right?
Actually, I do. Okay, so I have a really good friend of mine that works at Carson Hyundai, and about 11 years ago, there was a realtor that referred me to him. So next thing you know, I fixed his credit, and now fast forward to 11 years, I kind of didn't see him for a while, but I went to go see him at Carson Hyundai. So as soon as I sat down, he was like, "Hey Tom, you know what? You changed my life. Ever since I fixed my credit, I got a brand new car, and then I got my house, and he's been successful. He's second in charge over at the Carson Hyundai." So that's a pretty good story. It feels good that someone's going to tell me that I changed their life. So
well, I know
that's
that.
what I'm trying to do.
Yes, you were telling me about the story about this doesn't only work for home loans. It does work for any type of financing, right? In this case, was a vehicles. People they don't have to just clean their credit to buy a property. They can clean their credit so they can access better interest rates on credit card loans, on vehicle loans, personal loans, and on mortgages. So talking about mortgages, you know that one of the lowest credit scores that we need nowadays is a 580 credit score. The only problem is when we stumble upon people that have 500 credit, 520, 580s, you know, they still have some credit issues. So we need somebody like you to be able to fix them. But one of the biggest questions I have is, how much does it cost? How much does it cost?
Well, it's a one-time fee of $600. That's usually about half what other people are charging. I could do maybe like a payment plan, half now and half later. And what we would have to do is you would have to come in with a credit report from a lender. If not, I could provide one that would cost roughly about $80, and then we'll start the process.
Nice. Oh, wow. So another question is, you know, there's a lot of skeptics out there. A lot of skeptics out there. So there has Octavio is guaranteed. So I know that, you know, credit repair world is a little difficult, right? So how difficult is it to clean up a credit time?
Well, that depends on what's on there and how low the credit score is. So if it's generally around 590 or 600 score, I could probably get like a 700 score within maybe 6 months. But I found that 70% of my clients, I get like about 50 to 100 points within the first 30 to 45 days.
Got it. So not only you can fix credits for somebody that wants to buy a property, but it also applies for somebody who just wants to increase their credit score. Maybe in the future you want to apply for a credit, but not today, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Wow, that's pretty good, Tom. Now, do you think everybody needs credit repair?
Well, it depends on what they're going to do in their life. I just had a conversation with somebody asking me, should I go bankrupt? And I told her straight out, if you're not going to use your credit for the next 10 years, then do it. If you're going to use somebody else's credit, they're going to co-sign for you. But what are the chances in the next 10 years that you're not going to need a car, get some kind of financing? So I talked her into the credit repair, and now she's got like about a 660 score, decent car, and she's happy.
Wow. So take us to the steps. Let's see. You get a phone call. Mm-hmm. Hey Tom, I saw your interview with Octavio. Mm-hmm. And I want to see if I'm eligible to do a credit repair. What did you need from me?
Well, what I usually do is this. Here's the process. I'll talk to the client, and almost 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a referral from like either a realtor, a loan officer, or a friend or a family. So typically, here's how it goes. Somebody will call me and say, hey, by the way, so-and-so referred me to you. And then they'll ask me, what's the process? And I'll simply say, okay, well, what we need to do first is take a look at your credit report. We're going to see exactly what's on there. We're going to dissect it. It's like an X-ray. You got to see what's broken. And then
But what if
and then you gotta
don't,
fix it.
I don't want you to pull my credit because it's going to go any lower. What do you tell them? Because a lot of people, they don't want you to pull their credit. So what do you tell them when somebody says, no, I don't want you to pull my credit?
Well, I'll say, well, we could only fix your credit if we see the credit. So
Right.
why don't we go ahead and look at Credit Karma first and see if it makes sense. And if it's something I could do, I'll let you know. And then I'll usually have to pull a lender's credit report. And that usually will only take off maybe 1 point, 2 points, maybe 3 points at the most. But our goal is to get 50 to 100 points. So that's going to overshadow those 2 or 3 points.
So you're pretty much gonna tell them, okay, we're not gonna pull your credit because you don't feel comfortable. However, if you're able to install Credit Karma application on your phone or you can go online and you can look at whatever he has there, maybe that will make him feel a little better. Okay, so my credit is messed up. So it's the way I see it is if your credit score score and your credit history is already bad, it's already low, running it once is not gonna do anything. Why? Because it's already low. Right, Tom? It's already low. So running a credit report, what's it gonna do? It's gonna help them realize how bad it is, but it's gonna help you figure out what is the steps needed to bring it back up, right?
Yeah. If it's like a 400 score, I'm going to tell them realistically it's going to take about 6 months to a year. If they have like a 590 or like a 630 score and they're trying to get to a 680, realistically I can possibly do it within 45 days, maybe 2-3 months.
Wow. I know that you have a lot of techniques of increasing the credit report. We're not going to go into detail because all these are secrets that credit repair companies have. But the main idea is that your service, it's needed by thousands of people. Your service is something that people can take advantage. And I know that everybody's different. Not everybody's going to be able to achieve the goal of fixing their credit, right, Tom? Is it you have you come in and you have all this 20 collections and charge-offs and bankruptcies.
Yeah, it's pretty much impossible to bat 1,000 every single time.
Right? So it's on a case-by-case basis then.
Yeah.
Okay, but
I just had a situation, this lady over in Downey. I had 3 credit repairs I did that were great. And the next thing you know, the 4th one wasn't exactly what it needed to be. But they started panicking and they started getting upset. And I was like, okay, well, whatever happened to those other 3? Like I said, we were not going to bat 1,000 all the time. If that was the case, I'd be a rich man.
Yeah, so I understand. The same thing comes with us on the home loan side. Not everybody's going to qualify. But when it comes down to credit, for you to be able to qualify, then we need somebody like Tom. Tom, behind you, there's your flyer. Let me have the flyer.
Yes, sir.
Let's have the flyer. So your company is called Financial Credit Repair.
Yeah.
Even though we do business together,
Yeah.
so I just don't forget. I forget the name of your company. But this is his flyer. He does Spanish and he does English. So cualquier persona que hable español, yo le ayudo a traducir. Tom habla poquito español, pero sí se defiende. Cualquier pregunta que tengan en cuestión de crédito, ya saben, con Tom. Tom, he's the one that's going to help you. He's the one that's going to take you by the hand. He's going to guide you to the ups and downs of fixing your credit. I know you're going to get upset. You might get upset. You might get frustrated. Right, Tom? Tell me about frustration from customers. Tell me a little bit of that.
Well, one person told me that they wanted their money back. And I was like, all right, whatever. And they're saying nothing happened. And I was like, all right, well, let me check the Credit Karma. And they didn't want me to do that because they already knew something was wrong. And almost 10 times out of 10, basically, if the credit score lowers, it's not my fault. So luckily I had the user ID and password. I checked it and it was low, but then it showed the reason. And the reason was she had a brand new collection and some other inquiries. So I'm not going to be able to fix someone's credit if they're not going to want to help themselves, because the bottom line is everybody knows if you get a collection or you start running your credit, your score is going to lower. Or if you start maxing out your credit cards, that makes a big difference in your credit score.
So that brings us, give us 4 things that you can tell potential credit repair people that don't do this. Give us 4 things not to do.
Oh,
Don't do.
Okay, here's something that came up the other day, and it's very, very logical that someone would think this. Okay, this lady asked me, "Hey, I got my Toyota car. I only owe like about $4,000." And she told me, "I'm gonna go ahead and pay it off so my credit could boost." I told her, "Don't do that because of the fact that it's gonna be one more less positive account that's gonna be reported to the credit bureaus." So somebody did that maybe a couple years ago. They paid it off, and sure enough, they got like about 60 points that went down.
Wow. So if you could tell somebody, if you can tell the audience.
And also, don't start running your credit left and right.
That's one.
Especially,
That's one. Don't run your credit all over the place.
Well, that's two.
one.
That's two.
What's the other one?
The one I just told you right now.
Which one?
Where they got mad because there was a collection and inquiries that just started popping up, and I had the Credit Karma.
Well, yeah. Okay. So let's start from scratch. So the first one, the first suggestion that you can give them is don't start running your credit all over the place. That's one. Give me a second one. Good habits. Good habits.
Well,
What kind of good
basically,
habits?
don't co-sign for people.
Don't co-sign for people. In our business, we see a lot of co-signing. There's nothing wrong with co-signing, but it goes bad when they miss the payments, right?
Yeah.
It goes bad. Everybody gets
And nobody
affected.
knows the future. They could get into a crash.
Right.
It might not even be their fault. They could lose their job. Their wife might leave them for a midget. You never know.
That's the second one. Give us a third.
Third, let's see.
Balances.
Balances. I would say balances. Make sure that your balances are low. That's
How
a key
low?
factor.
How low, Tom?
I would say about 20% or less.
Let's say somebody has a credit card of about $1,000.
$200.
Okay, that's 20%, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you have a credit card of 100,000, then 20,000, right? So 20%. Okay, some people I've heard that if you keep it under 50%, that's good. It's better to keep it under 20 than 50.
No. 10, 20 is good.
Okay, so maintain a low balance on your credit card.
Oh, another thing is this. Don't think that your credit score is going to go high just because you paid it right then and there. It's always the billing cycle. So let's say, for example, you want to go get a car. You want to pay down your bills like about a month before because that's when the good credit's going to reflect.
That's good.
Yeah.
Tom, really good information. I know you're really good at what you do, and I really appreciate you coming in. I know it was the last minute, but I needed to have a conversation with somebody that specializes in credit. I know a little bit about credit because I've learned it from you, some other people, and plus in the business for 25 years. But having you as a partner and having you help people that have bad credit is one of the best things somebody can do because it's going to help you in the short term.
Yeah, it's a
win. Long term.
It's a win-win-win situation. Like, for example, Mr. Octavio here, I'll fix the credit. He'll make probably more than $10,000. Escrow will make money. Title will make money. The notary is going to make money. And the client's going to be happy, all from something that was from nothing to something.
Got it. I like that. From nothing to something. Hey, Tom, we appreciate you coming in. We'll have another conversation of this, but more in depth, okay?
Okay.
The
The Dow Ray on you now.